believe him.
Listen, I used to get upset. Listen, for all those people that think they want to be upset with ministers, I used to get when I first come into grace, I got upset with the ministers thinking, how dare they tell me these things? It's their fault, blah, blah, blah. You know what God come and told me? Greg, the only reason why you fell for it because it was already in your heart.
Yeah.
It was already inside of me. They just connected with what was already in me. If I didn't have that in me, that way of thinking already in me, what they said wouldn't have moved me at all.
That's why it's so readily accepted.
Yeah.
That's why it's so
Because
readily
you already believe it.
That means that what you're saying now is already inside of me, and it's connected.
That is exactly right.
Yes.
Nobody.
But then we're like, you're talking about the sting of life. And that part of it is like, in the midst of my darkness, the deep, dark, I didn't even know I was submersed so deep, you know?
Mm.
And then the sting of life came in. And then, you know, I don't know, the clouds started to part. But it's in that moment, maybe you can talk more about that, because that didn't come through intellectual understanding on my part, right? That beautiful kindness where the Holy Spirit came in and showed me a light I had never seen before. That sting of life, that part of it, right? That's the mystery, the miracle, the magic, whatever you want to call it. But that part of it, that's the glory of God. And I know you've been talking about why we end up where we do, and I've been there. I can totally relate. But how it was that Spirit poured out, that ability, the sting of life came, and then I just knew I could call him Abba. I knew I could, you know, and that was his goodness, and how, maybe you could talk more about how that comes. I don't know. It doesn't. Don't have to figure it all out, but that's the most beautiful part of all of this, right? So.
Well, what I would say is that Paul prayed that they would understand. And he prayed that the eyes of their understanding would be enlightened.
Yes.
And so if we think that the miracle is void of the logic, then I don't think we understand the miracle. And what I would say is that the miracle is when we're not really comprehending the truth yet, and it just comes in the place where our ignorance is still there, and life manifests.
Amen.
Right? I mean, if you see life when you're in darkness, you're going to see the light. Right?
Right. For me, it's hearing. Right? It's hearing and hearing again. Is what brings that.
God
Well, that's what it is now,
uses
right?
the human
Right.
intellect to reveal to the heart truth. And once the heart is convinced of the truth, that truth is born
That
in
truth
the individual.
works in them all the time.
It works in them.
The way Paul said that the Holy Spirit intercedes in our hearts.
Right.
How does it say it intercedes in our hearts? With groanings that aren't uttered. Right? And so what are groanings that aren't uttered? It's words. It's language. It's the truth. But it's not uttered because it's inside of our heart. It's not external.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like an inward conversation that you're having with the Holy Spirit without words. And so the Holy Spirit is guiding you into the truth in your heart.
Yeah.
And so if someone made me describe a dynamic like Lisa just is saying, the way I would describe that is that's the Holy Spirit groaning inside of our hearts with words that can't be uttered. And then all of a sudden we could see the truth.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
That we're braided together with the Ancient of Days. And then we would see He is our Father. And then we would have, like Mo said, the spirit of love and a sound mind. And then we'd find ourselves crying out to Abba.
Yeah.
Right? But I would say that that's not void of understanding, nor would I define intellectualism as the same thing as understanding.
Oh, yeah.
Right? There's a difference between being intimate with the Logos of God and intellectualism,
Yeah, absolutely.
is what I would say.
Yeah.
So describing the dynamics of the gospel is not to be confused with intellectualism. Right? The truth is the truth. Right? And so in hearing the truth, you don't have to understand how the truth works per se for you to hear the truth and for the truth to start working in you. Right? You just have to hear the truth. Or if you're so far away from understanding anything to do about the truth, the Spirit of truth is dwelling in you. And when push comes to shove, that Spirit of truth can well up inside of you and bring you peace. Right?
Beyond words.
Right? Yeah.
You know, to answer your question about
Well, hold on.
Wait.
Let Lisa jump back
Go
in.
ahead, Lisa.
Yeah.
So we could keep going back and
I
forth
was
so
just
we
saying,
can...
I was just saying, right on. I appreciate that second. I guess I'm identifying with what you're saying. The Spirit of truth welling up, sort of, and coming to manifest itself until it could push through to understanding. I don't know. I'm just trying to share my experience of it, but it. Yeah, I appreciate totally what you're saying. So it's
Yes.
not devoid of truth. The truth is present. The Holy Spirit is the truth, and it is speaking that. I think most of it is speaking the truth to my heart. So that's beautiful. That's beautiful.
That's right.
Yeah.